What's it doing?
Now it's counting.
And where is it?
2, 5.
Hi guys, it's Lisa Marie.
And me.
We're here to talk to you guys about the Big Shot today. I get tons of messages, and usually like late at night, you guys are texting me wanting to know if you broke your Big Shot because it made a horrible noise or it didn't cut or something like that. So we wanted to be able to show you basically how to use your Big Shot. When you get your Big Shot, your cutting mats are going to look like this. I don't know how well you can see them, but they're clear. You can see through them.
This is what they look like after use.
Ugly.
See? Can't see me.
So the cuts,
see me.
The cuts and the bowing, all of that is normal. To help with the bowing, if you will flip your plates in between, like so when you cut a couple of times and flip it over, and then maybe move this guy to the top and the other one to the bottom, that type of thing, that will help with that. But they will look beautiful like this as long as you never use your Big Shot. The second you start using it, you're going to get cuts and things. And Chuck's going to show you, I think, with the new plates today.
I am going to show you with the new plates today because I'm going to put some damage on them, and then you'll know that that's okay. But before we get started, of course, you got the Big Shot.
Yep.
And then I've got the current platform, which is this big platform here. All right, and it comes with a thin one, and the thin one
is an adapter.
An adapter. Think of it, what works for me, metal only. So if you're doing your
thinlits
and edgelets and framelits and things like this nature, then you'll need this on top of your platform. If all you're doing is folders, not necessarily this one, but a folder, then it'll be just the platform. Okay?
And those directions are actually right there on the platform itself. It's showing you that you use this guy when you are using the framelits, thinlits, and edgelets. And then on this piece, it's showing you that you're going to use it for embossing folders. So it's pretty easy. Just follow the directions. Don't be afraid of it. This, some of you may have, this is the old platform before they got smart and made it just 2 pieces. It has the hinges, and some of you may have this still. Still has the directions. It even has some directions for some things that we don't have anymore, but it still has framelits. So when you want to leave it completely closed to use framelits, and then you're going to open it up when you do embossing folders, and then you're going to open up again. Oh, these are old. So when you, the big dynamic folders, that's that big fat one you had?
This is the big fat one.
So like the wood planks and
it's
a ruffle.
Thicker. They're also known as the 3D dynamic texture embossing folder.
Good job.
Like that?
You've been studying.
I have.
So that's what you would use that. Or if anybody happens to have the old texture plates, those are from a really long time ago, but if you still have those hanging around, you would use this for that. So anyway, you always want to do a sandwich. And you always, think of this as your, I think of it as my plate, paper plate, dinner plate, whatever you want to think of. This is my plate, and I'm going to need a piece of bread, and then I'm going to need some meat, and then I'm going to need some cheese. I'm going to stick my little frame up right on here, and then I'm going to take another piece of bread on top, so that I'm creating the sandwich.
Now, it's important, she's got one of the small ones, so the small ones, the tree can go the way it is there,
yep.
Or it can actually be...
You want him back? He's
yes, because he's stuck.
It's because he's all beat up.
Or he can go through the paper on this way, or he can go through this way, through the rollers. It's only important for the big ones. These small ones, it's all good. It'll take it either way. And that's going to be more important when we're talking about your big edgelets like this. Because the big ones, when you start sending these through, they have to go through this way, so that the roller is coming across it like so. If they go like this, you're putting a lot of pressure across all the metal, and there have been rumors that some of these have actually broken.
I broke one.
And yes, Lisa Marie has broke one. And we didn't understand why, but I'm pretty sure we were sending it through this way through the roller instead of like this. So keep in mind, big ones need to go with the least width of metal through the roller. Otherwise known as perpendicular for those of you that are mathies. Not like this. This is bad. This is good.
So there it is. There's the tree I cut out. And I cut that out with the Card Front Builder thinlits. Those are the new ones that were released this month. So I could actually use this negative space to make a card, and I can also use this space too.
You gonna send it through one more time?
Why?
I didn't hear if it popped.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it'll pop if you do it on yours. Because look at, you have brand new plates. Brand new.
Okay, so brand new plates. This is how you got them. You're one of them new people that
there you go.
That just got it. You got your paper. You're putting in your Christmas tree.
This guy.
You're putting on your plate, and then like you ran it through. And listen.
Hang on, stop. Chuck is doing something very wrong right here. See how my plate is sticking out? Can you see that? All your plates need to be completely lined up. Otherwise, what it's gonna do is that plastic cutting mat is gonna cut the inside of your Big Shot and eventually wear it, and it shreds it. I know this thing has happened in class multiple times.
Yes.
Okay, listen, see if you get that one to crack. He's a really quiet one. I knew that was gonna happen. He's really quiet. You need a bigger one.
No, he did make a little bit of a noise, but
one.
we always go through once and then bring it right back towards you is what I do.
See, and that's not good either, because on some of those, if you run them through twice, it will tear it up. You have to really be careful.
If you've got the new
now you got a tree on there.
All right, so this was a new one, and hopefully you can see that now there's a tree implant on the plastic. That's normal. That's okay. And you're going to have one on this one too, because this is the one that the blades were actually cutting into. See how you can see the tree through there? So that's okay. That's normal. That's what you want to see. That's why, my friends, that we buy these. Because that's what their whole purpose in life is to protect this and your Big Shot.
Beth and Tim are watching.
So keep that in mind.
Damage
to these is okay. These are only, do you remember how much these are?
$11 maybe.
So $10, $11. We'll look that up and we'll get that price on there. But just keep in mind, these were meant to be destroyed. These are sacrificial plates. That's what they're there for. As you can see, Lisa Marie has used it lots of times, and they start to warp.
Put your clear plate back up there with the new ones, and do a big one. The big ones from the Bethlehem set.
Yes,
because those are big. Resistance.
Yes. So
Becca made a good point. You will feel resistance when you're cranking through, and that's okay. Now, if you have to put all your weight into it, you probably need to stop and rethink. Maybe you have one of the layers wrong. But most of the time, you're going to feel that little bit of a push. Once you give it one more little shove, it'll go.
Yes.
Got it?
Now, maybe some of you have got these. Maybe some of you didn't. Lisa Marie's going to put the link on her website. It's the magnetic boards from Stampin' Storage. They work great because it's magnetic and it holds your metal dies on there. When you get it, little ones, I found that if you turn it with the cutting edge down on the magnet, they actually slide off easily. But if you're afraid you're going to lose them, flip it so the flat side is down, and then now it's a little bit tighter and it won't slide as much.
All right, crank that guy through.
All right, so we're going to crank this guy through, and then got my plates lined up. Don't want to damage the Big Shot. Going through again. Notice how the Bethlehem City is going through.
Melissa Greenberg's on.
See?
It says ginger.
And then it is a little tight right now because it's starting to cut down on it.
That was really quiet. I swear, when you guys text me, you talk about some really loud noises. I'm not getting any loud noises today.
They will pop. They will make noise, though. It's perfectly normal.
Leave that inside of there and grab the little die brush, and you can use the die brush. I'll move you out of the way.
So, here's the die brush. Paper, when you get these technical ones that have lots of little cutting outs in them, lay them down, and then just kind of roll this over. And what it's going to do is it's going to break out. It's going to break out some of the windows, mostly.
You don't have any fingernails.
And sometimes it'll pop it out. But if you're like me and you chew your fingernails, you still aren't going to be able to pop it out. But there's a bunch of little holes here. So any one of these little holes, you can just kind of pop it, and it'll start to separate, and it'll come right out.
I got all the little pieces out. All the
but the brush definitely got out all the windows. So you got all the windows out, and you got a nice little template there.
There you go, my friend.
So
I took all your stuff away.
That's okay. It's all good.
Sorry about that.
So,
so there's the dies, and then there's embossing folders.
So the embossing folders, I've got one set up already, and I've got I got the snowflake, and it's a thin one. This is a normal embossing folder. This is not the 3D texture one. So we want to set this up the right way, which is we get rid of the thin one. We got the bottom plate still, the folder.
Hang on. You also always want to do your spine ones to go in first. The reason you want the spine to go in first is so that pressure is coming across even. When you come this way and those wheels are hitting it, it causes it to shift, and then you will crack, and your embossing folder will become two pieces. It won't be a folder anymore. And this folder is actually from the new holiday catalog.
It is. I like how we do that.
Isn't hers Big Shots?
Who said that? Carrie Ann. Hey, Carrie Ann.
So I don't know about Lisa Marie, but I always like to push it in. See how my handle is flopping around? I know it's engaged, and then I can just grab it and pull it
And you
through.
made sure your sides were all tucked in,
I
because that's
did.
important.
And then again, when we pull it back out,
There you go.
when all is done, you should have this nice, pretty. Can we see it over there? Okay. How about that? We'll
Probably.
get a little bit of
You
light.
can see
Oh, there
Chuck.
it is, middle. I'm sorry.
There's Chuck with his extra light. I don't think it's making a difference, babe.
It's all good.
Sorry, I don't think it's working. So if you were going to do, can I have that same embossing folder? If you're going to do an embossing folder with this guy, you're going to flip this one open and you're going to stick it inside and do the same thing. You're going to have your clear plate, you're going to have your paper inside of your folder, spine first, and then you're just going to run it through.
And I'm just gonna say this, Stampers, but if you got the old plate, get the new one.
It's time to get a new one.
And if you don't like the new one, get the even better new
No,
one.
you always will need this.
Well, you
There's
always need that one, but
there's
I
no
would
choices.
use the magnetic platform too. It's worth the money. It holds the thinlits, the metal ones in place.
That's not right.
This platform
That's
is
not
only
right.
26,
Yeah, there you go.
and the magnetic one is only 40.
40.
And I found the magnetic one is very helpful, especially when you're trying to make specific cuts, or in the case of a true stamper, trying to get as much out of this piece of paper as possible.
Let me use your good plates.
So we're,
Thank you.
you know, you're trying to make the best of all this paper. If you've got the magnetic one on here, you can actually place it and it'll hold it better. It won't kind of start to slip to the side when you put the sandwiches together. And that way you can maximize this paper and get as much out of it as possible. So the magnetic one has benefits like that if you like to make sure that
So
you
there
get
it
every
is.
scrap of your paper.
The magnet does hold even if when you have the clear plate on there, because you never ever want to cut on your magnet board, just like you don't want to cut on any of these other platforms. If you cut on the magnet one especially, it digs in there, and this is made out of a series of circle magnets that are going in rows. So if you cut into those, then you're going to damage the magnet. So I've created my sandwich and set it right on there. Where's that other plain pretty plate? Here it is. I'm gonna put
Right
that
there.
on there. It was right there, sorry.
He was right there.
Didn't see him. So with the magnetic platform, it only works with the thinlits. You can't, I think somebody said they ran one of their embossing folders through their
There's no
It's
metal
really
on
not
here,
meant for
so
that.
there's no metal. The magnet's not going to pull this down to the plate, so it's still going to shift.
There you go.
So there you go.
Where's my little pokey guy? I took him.
Pokey guy.
Yeah, because these trees are so detailed, but they have all those little holes on the back. Once you get one, you can usually pull them right up. I love these trees.
So
Just saying.
the 3D dynamic embossing
Just jump
folders
around.
are much thicker. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera, but you can see how normal 3D dynamic texture. And part of that is if you ever look at these, you're going to be able to feel that on this side, the bottom, you can actually feel the insets of the leaves that are here. And on the top half that goes over it, they're actually raised so that when they're folding up, they're fitting inside each other like a piece of, like a puzzle. So when you put your piece of paper in here, it's so much thicker because it's going to do that.
Oh, that's right. You
And
didn't do that guy.
the
Sorry.
key is that now we don't use one of these plates.
The bottom one.
So leave the bottom off. This is not a cutting one, so we're not going to do damage to our platform.
So forget everything I've ever said in class where that you always use two of these. This is the only
This
exception
is
to that rule.
this is the only exception. So your thick 3D, put it in. Top plate still for holding it all together. Engage the handle. Roll it through.
And you really do want your hand up on top of the Big Shot one time, because if you go through too many times with these big ones, it will cut the paper because it's so thick. You want your hand up here though, because you'll end up rolling your fingers underneath there and it hurts.
And now, when I take this out, I've got raised leaves on that side and inset leaves on this side. And then that's good paper for background or anything else like that. I mean, I guess you could fussy cut it out the leaves if you want.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not going to, but
I can't think of any of my students that are going to want to do that. Just
Um,
saying.
but we have the we've got the wood
Plank.
plank one,
Well,
and
the difference in
this
those
that
is
makes
the
a nice
size.
thing because you get a lot of that
size.
wood texture that you can put through the back
So
of
this
a car.
is the smaller, the old size, and then
Yes.
this one is the new 6x6. And
So.
so that's what that is.
It is.
I think you got everybody.
I think
Does
so.
anybody have any questions? I saw Brenda Resty's on, and Jean just joined, and Eileen. I think I saw, who else did I see on there? Oh, Brenda Wildy. Hi, Brenda. And Melissa Greenberg says that you're the tech dude. Remember
Yeah.
Melissa? She used to
Yeah,
live
I'm the
next
tech
door.
dude, and my iPad is software out of date. and now I find out the Flash Player, so I can't even look at mine to see what's on.
Your software, your iPad is
Yes.
so old that your Facebook.
No, I
won't
just
work on
haven't
there.
had it on and updated lately since the new job. So.
Does
it is what
anybody
it
have
is.
any questions about the Big Shot? You guys, I think you could. The biggest thing is that to not be afraid of it. Just use it. You guys don't sit around. I know somebody. I'm not going to say her name. She's watching. Who just actually broke into hers recently, and she found out she really loves it. She was missing out on a whole bunch of fun. So don't do that. But you have these great tools, and go ahead and use them.
The biggest concerns, you know, from you snappers that have been calling, and I'm here. When you messenger, I'm here. When you make the call, you're like, it's not working, or it just made all kinds of popping noises. Am I breaking it? No, you're not breaking it. They do that.
Okay.
It's okay. Get used to it. Here's an idea. Use it more often, and you won't even notice those noises. I don't notice them.
All right, well, I can't think of anything else. And if nobody has any questions, I'll give you guys just a second. Becca, did we miss anything? She's our producer over there. She was helping us to try to remember everything so we don't forget.
Yes.
Nothing. I think we got it all.
Nothing.
Framelits.
Framelits.
And thinlits are the thin ones that go without
Framelits,
the
thinlits.
adapter.
And then, like we said earlier, you got the instructions are on the platforms
Oh, yeah.
themselves, and they're also on page 210 and 211 of your actual catalog. So
Good
all
call, Becca.
you snappers should be having your catalog nearby anyway. If you're not using it for ideas, you can use it for the instructions.
And it's a picture tutorial, so it's not even just, you don't have to read. You just look at the picture. It's going to tell you how to do it. It's all there. Okay, so I think that's it, you guys.
I think it is. So next time you come over and next time you do some stamping, think about it. You may want to buy one set of these. Another set. If you've already got the Big Shot, buy a second set because they're going to look like this.
That's
And
okay.
if that's really bothering you, get the new ones. They'll
Have a new
both
set.
work, but at least get the new ones and then it'll be cleaned up and then you can press on and be all happy.
Hey, Janae. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye!